Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Greater Houston Partnership's 2013 State of the City Address. Please rise for the presentation of colors by the HPD Color Guard, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Nancy Lee, and the singing of our national anthem, led by Victoria Ma.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of the Greater Houston Partnership, David McClanahan.
Everybody can be seated. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is David McClanahan, and I'm pleased to be this year's chairman of the board of the Greater Houston Partnership. Welcome to today's meeting. Please join me in thanking the Houston Police Department Color Guard for presenting the colors today, Staff Sergeant Nancy Lee for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and Eileen Kwan for singing the national anthem. The Greater Houston Partnership is the Houston business community's primary advocate, and our mission is to create economic prosperity and jobs for the region we serve. In the short term, we do this by attracting capital investment and by expanding foreign trade. We accomplish our mission in the longer term by seeking to secure regional economic prosperity through advocacy of good public policy. The area the partnership serves encompasses 10 counties and multiple municipalities. They each play an important role in the success of this metropolitan area. However, we all realize and understand the unique importance of the city of Houston to our region, as it is the anchor of our region. From its very beginning in 1840, only 4 years after Houston was founded, the Houston Chamber of Commerce and its successor, the Greater Houston Partnership, have been at the forefront of the region's effort to achieve greatness. For example, from its inception, the Chamber of Commerce worked to improve navigation on Buffalo Bayou. In the late 1800s, the local chamber called on Congress, offering to match dollar for dollar all federal funds allocated to channel improvements. I don't have to tell you that the Port of Houston is today one of the largest and busiest ports in the world. And did you know that George Bush Intercontinental Airport was also a major project of the local chamber? In 1948, the local chamber began advocating for an international airport to serve this growing metropolis. More than 20 years later, the airport opened and is today one of the largest airports in the United States, and it continues to grow. Just this year, we've seen it continue to experience growth for new entrants such as Turkish Airlines and Air China. Demand for the new Istanbul route has been so strong that Turkish Airlines added 2 more weekly flights to its originally scheduled 4 weekly flights even before service began. So yes, the partnerships and its predecessor have both been successful in helping Houston grow. But the reality is that a city's strength stems from the willingness of people to work together to create greatness, and strong leaders with great vision who are willing to continue the work started more than 177 years ago by the Allen brothers. Today, Houston is fortunate to have a strong leader with great vision in Mayor Anise Parker. Just last week, she led a trade mission to Istanbul to capitalize on the new route by Turkish Airlines. I'm told that the trip was a great success and that the mission is sure to grow the strong relationships that we already share with Turkey. Congratulations on a successful trade mission, and thank you for joining us today, Mayor Parker. We appreciate you being here, and we look forward to your remarks later in the program. Now, before we begin, or as we begin the luncheon program, portion of the program, I would like to bring up Pastor Juanita Rasmuth from St. John United Methodist Church, who will provide us with today's invocation. After the invocation, enjoy the rest of your lunch, and our program will follow in about 25 minutes thereafter.
Let us pray. Most gracious God, whom we call by many names, we welcome your abiding presence. Thank you for your life-giving power that flows freely through each of us, empowering us to co-create together an incredible Houston. Thank you for leadership that seeks to find potential and possibilities. Thank you for gathering us all this morning so that we might celebrate the work of our city's leadership. Bless our meal and our time together, we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carrick Henney, Chairman, Government Relations Advisory Committee.
Good afternoon. My name is Carrick Henney. I'm chairman of GRAC. We will hear from Mayor Parker in just a few minutes. There are so many people to thank for today's event, so let's take a moment to recognize them with a video.
Ladies and gentlemen, the generous financial support of our sponsors is an essential component to the work of the Greater Houston Partnership. Their sponsorship, along with your patronage of these excellent companies, allows us to continue to be the voice of the business community in the 10-county Houston region. Their dollars have also made today's State of the City possible. Please join me in thanking our major sponsors, Chevron, Odebrecht, and Southwest Airlines. Our gold level sponsors include Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, Bracewell and Giuliani, Capital One Bank, CenterPoint Energy, ExxonMobil, HDR, Linebarger Gogan Blair and Sampson LLP, Pierpont Communications, and Shell Oil Company. Silver level sponsors are AIG, Amagi Bank, Andrews Kurth, Arup, Bank of America, BP America, Cigna Healthcare of Texas, Inc., Dannenbaum Engineering Corporation, Direct Energy, Fulbright and Jaworski, Houston Association of Realtors, Houston Contractors Association, IDS Engineering Group, JDDA SSP, Kroger Company, PKF Texas, Port of Houston Authority, Traffic Engineers Inc., TXU Energy, UT Health, and Wells Fargo. Underwriter for the Networking Cafe, Reliant, an NRG company. Photography underwriter, Comcast. A special thank you to our supporting sponsor, the Houston Airport System. Also thanks to our staging partner, J&S Audiovisual Inc., and our production partner since 2006, Vision Production Group. As we extend a big thank you to each of this year's sponsors and underwriters, let's give them a big round of applause for everything they do to make GHP and the Houston region more successful. Thank you.
Let's give our sponsors another big hand. This time, I'd like to acknowledge all of the elected officials who are able to join us. My goal today is to not miss out on recognizing at least 10 of them. It happens all the time, and I hope to do better this day. But if we miss you, we'll recognize you later in the program. Each of them is instrumental to our public policy efforts. Our elected officials work tirelessly to address the needs of our fast-growing region. I would like to ask you to stand when I call your name. From Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee's office, Deidre Rashid. Our great state senator, Sylvia Garcia. Our wonderful state representative, Mary Ann Perez. My very good friend, Harris County Judge Ed Emmett. Terrence O'Rourke, Special Assistant County Attorney. Another good friend, Fort Bend County Commissioner Grady Prestidge, Precinct 2. Very good friend, Reuben Davis, Precinct 2. Galveston County Commissioner Stephen Holmes, Precinct 3. My cousin, City of Houston Controller Ronald Green. Councilwoman Helena Brown. Mr. Jerry Breakfast Club Davis. Ellen Cohen. Wanda Adams. Dave Martin. Al Hong. Oliver Pennington, Ed Gonzalez, James Rodriguez, Mike Laster, and Mr. Larry Green, Andrew Burks, Melissa Noriega, C.O. Brad Bradford, Jack Christie, and our regional city mayors, Russell Hamley of Jersey Village, Louis Rigby of LaPorte. Also, Regional City Mayor Johnny Isbell, Pasadena. Tom Reed of Pearland. Tom Ramsey, Spring Valley. Regional City Council members Bobby Marshall, Missouri City. Danny Gwynn, Missouri City. Pearland City Council member Woody Owens. Sugarland City Council member Joe Zimmerman. The Woodlands Township, Nelda Luce Blair. Additional Regional City Council member Felicia Evans Smith, City of Stafford. Fred Woolrich, City of Stafford. Bonnie McMillan, City of Hunters Creek Village. And our great HISD Board trustees, Rhonda Skillen-Jones, Greg Myers. Our Community College Board trustees for Houston Community College, Herlinda Garcia. Port of Houston Commissioner, Janice Longoria. Metro Board of Director, the Honorable Dwight Jefferson. And from the great city of Rosenberg, Mayor Vincent Morales. And from Congressman Al Green's office, we have with us Kevin Dancy, Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving all of our elected officials a huge round of applause for their service to the Houston region. The Houston region is also home to 92 general consulates. That's more than any other city with the exception of New York and Los Angeles. I want to acknowledge the consul generals who are with us today. Could you also please stand when I call your name? They include the Honorable Philip Berquist, Consul General for Croatia. The Honorable Frederick Banta, Consul General of France. The Honorable Philip Aronoff, Honorary Consul General of Hungary. The Honorable Fabrizio Nava, Consul General, Italy. The Honorable Sukbum Park, Consul General, Korea. The Honorable Gert Visser, Honorary Netherlands. The Honorable Semalettin Ading, Consul General, Turkey. I would also like to thank the members of the GHP Board of Directors who have joined us for this event. Thank you for everything you do for the partnership. Could I please have GHP Board members please stand so they may be acknowledged. And last but not least, my good friend, Harris County Attorney Vince Ryan. It's now my pleasure to bring Dr. Anjanette Wyatt, CEO at Clinical Care Pharmacy, who will introduce our guest of honor. Dr. Wyatt is the Pharmacy Manager, President, and Chief Executive Officer of Clinical Care Pharmacy. She obtained her bachelor and doctorate pharmacy degrees from Texas Southern University, College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. She's a member of numerous professional organizations, including the National Association of Professional Women, Gulf Coast Society of Health System Pharmacists, Houston Area Pharmacy Association, Houston Speakers Bureau, Kappa Psi Pharmaceutical Fraternity, and the Texas Pharmacy Association. She was recognized by the National Association of Professional Women in Business and received a 2011 Woman of the Year Award. Dr. Wyatt was honored by the Texas Women's Empowerment Foundation as one of the leading national business and community women in Houston. She is a community advocate who speaks to school-aged children throughout the state of Texas about the dangers of prescription drug abuse, and she also provides consultations with the senior citizens about their prescription drug concerns. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Anjanette Wyatt.
Good afternoon. Mayor Anise Parker's biographical information is fairly common knowledge. She is Houston's 61st mayor and one of only 2 women to hold the city's highest elected office. Mayor Parker has spent many years in service to the people of Houston, with 6 years as city council member and 6 years as city comptroller. She is the only person in Houston's history to have served in the capacity of council member, comptroller, and mayor. She is currently in her 2nd term as mayor. Anise Parker's accomplishments as mayor are many and well documented, but I want to stand here today and tell you about the Anise Parker I know. Anise Parker, who cares deeply about this great city and each of its residents. The mayor who wants Houston to be the best place to live, the best place to work, and the best place to raise a family. I want to tell you about the Anise Parker who I voiced my concerns for the lack of adequate sidewalks in the neighborhood in which I grew up, where kids need to walk back and forth to school. As I speak to you today, crews throughout Houston are working diligently, installing sidewalks there in my old neighborhood and in neighborhoods throughout the city of Houston, the place where anyone can accomplish anything. She is a mayor who listens and acts upon the concerns of the citizens of Houston. I also want to tell you about Denise Parker, who helped my small business. I was so impressed with her programs to help small businesses that you'll find her name on my personal business card. Because of her commitment, I was able to participate in intense business training through Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small businesses, a public and private partnership between the City of Houston and Houston Community College, along with Goldman Sachs. I started my pharmacy from scratch several years ago. No funding, no grants. I later learned through Goldman that wasn't the smart thing to do, but now I have 12 associates, and I plan to open a second location. You see, the training I received through the program, the Goldman Sachs 10,000 business programs, was an integral part of teaching me the skills that I needed to be successful and expand my business. Now, through my nonprofit organization, Clinical Intervention, I am now giving that back to the youth of this community, teaching them entrepreneurship in a summer program, and building the future and next business owners to grow Houston. I am proud to stand here, and I'm proud to be working to improve the lives of Houstonians in my pharmacy by providing the tools they need to manage conditions like diabetes, heart disease. And I am proud to be working with our mayor, Mayor Denise Parker. We have a city-produced video. Let's take a look at it.
I think absolutely it's headed in the right direction. I've been excited about Houston for a long time.
They're doing a lot of green initiatives like the bicycle program downtown. They're putting a couple of more. The metro rail is expanding, so that's always a good thing. So I think we're going in a good direction.
The people of Houston are the most generous people around.
You've got more opportunity over here than you have in Louisiana.
I would say the diversity. I love that there's always something to do.
I love the diversity.
What don't I love about Houston? It's the nicest place I've ever lived. Weather's phenomenal.
There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of depression going on here.
We have the medical center, and that's absolutely one of the best.
The energy sector and the jobs availability.
And we love the zoo.
If Houston can have direct flight with China.
Maybe fix the roads, maybe?
Yeah. We need to bring crime down in Houston, Mayor.
Try to complete all the roads as soon as possible.
They just have to improve a little bit more about the public transportation.
I think she has a priority straight as far as from a business aspect.
I think the mayor's doing a pretty good job.
I think she's doing a really good job. And I just happen to like her too.
I think the mayor has a good idea what needs to be done.
I think I wouldn't want her job, so I think she's doing a terrific job.
Please join me in welcoming our mayor, Denise Parker.
She doesn't want my job? Glad there's someone who doesn't want my job. Have a great job. Let me start by thanking all of the public officials who are here with us today. I appreciate you taking the time to be part of today's lunch, and I most especially appreciate all the work you do for the citizens of this region day in and day out. I want to thank the members of the Consular Corps who are here, who help sell Houston around the world. I want to thank Baby Sonic Boom, and the Rhodes School. Not only are they loud and proud and have great rhythm, but it's an exemplary school, and they have good academics, too, which is incredibly important. So let's give a hand to the Baby Sonic Boom performers. And Dr. Wyatt, thank you for introducing me today. And as you know, the reason I ask you to introduce me is because your story is the story of Houston, of individuals with a dream, educating themselves, preparing themselves, making it happen any way they can. But you've also taken a step to create a new dream for yourself and move up. And that really is the story of Houston. I love this city. I still love going to work every day. I love the future we are creating together for Houston. In our 3.5 years together, we've gone from fighting a severe recession with necessary cutbacks and layoffs to having the hottest economy in the United States. Today, we are the job-producing capital of America, the place to which more people are moving than anywhere else in the nation. Just this last year, we hosted an NBA All-Star Weekend that was second to none. We started major programs to improve our parks, our streets, our libraries, and announced 2 new international nonstop flights to Houston. Soon we'll have 2 international airports, so you can fly directly from Houston to your international destination, whether that be China, Turkey, or Mexico. Our current list of international top 10 rankings could fill all the time available for my speech today. I've selected just a few. You may have seen some of them on the screen during lunch, but I want to give you a taste of what people are saying about Houston. We're the best place in the country to start a new career. Your paycheck will stretch farther here than anywhere. We're one of the best cities in which to own a home. We're in the top 10 cities for college graduates. The New York Times suggests we are the 7th best city to visit in the world. Now, they put us ahead of Paris. I don't know I would put us ahead of Paris, but the New York Times put us ahead of Paris. Forbes magazine named us America's coolest city. I don't think that's a reference to our climate. So, and maybe best of all, Travel and Leisure says we are the best burger city in the United States. But there are more. I'll stop there. Do an internet search. Look it up for yourself. It's a proud list of achievements. People are talking about Houston all over the world. These are the evidence that allow me to proudly say the state of our city is strong and getting stronger. Personally, though, I think that list isn't enough. We have a lot more to do. I love having others recognize how great our city is, but it's not ever going to be enough until every Houston family's life is better. From the roads on which we drive, to the jobs we work, to the neighborhoods in which we live, to the schools we attend, and the parks where our children play. The best can get better. The best will get better. That's been my goal as mayor, to improve our role as a global city of business, but also ensure that Houston remains the best city in America to live, to work, and to raise a family. No one person can do this. We are 2 million people working together to do this. Every day, we're building our tomorrow. Call us a city of change. Call us a city of the future. Call us the best city in America, and a city that's still working to get better. We have the plans, the vision, the imagination, the ability, and the will to get better, and we are on our way. A great city is many things. It starts with opportunity. My economic philosophy is simple. I don't believe in trickle down. I believe in building up. The best way to grow our economy is also the best way to lay the foundation for a stronger future. Executing on the fundamentals with sound city finances and good public services. We've done that together. We will continue to do that together. We have laid that foundation. We've cut waste in the vast city bureaucracy. We've put our finances in order. We made city departments more efficient, balanced the budget without raising taxes, begun pension reform. And I want to salute the council members who are here, the city controller who is here, all of whom have been a partner in the reforms that we've initiated in city government. But those reforms, those changes, that work is not the goal. Those reforms are tools to make our city better, to allow us to do the things we must do to improve the city. And when we recruit new businesses to Houston, we have something to sell. Houston is the biggest economic success story in America. In the last 3 years, the Houston region has created more than 250,000 jobs. Exported, that's a good number. Exported approximately $300 billion in locally produced goods and services, and issued permits for the construction of nearly 74,000 single-family homes. Houston was the first major metro to fully recover from the recession. We lead the nation, and we're going to continue to do that. A year ago, I stood before you and announced that incentives and other measures offered by the City of Houston had resulted in more than $1 billion in new economic development since 2010. Today, I'm proud to say that we have more than doubled that number with limited incentives but aggressive pro-growth policies. Our city government has helped attract more than $2.2 billion of economic development. And we're going to continue to build on that number. But of course, growth needs to begin at home. So we started the Hire Houston First program, giving priority to local firms to keep our tax dollars here and build our local economy. In the first year of the program, more than $139 million of city business was awarded to certified firms, sustaining more than 6,000 jobs. Many of these firms had never done business for the City of Houston or with the City of Houston prior to the Houston First initiative. One of those first-time companies is Generators of Houston, owned by Louis Giddings. Mr. Giddings is here, and I'm going to ask him to stand up, if he would. Thank you for being here, sir. Mr. Giddings and his team won a $144,000 contract with the Houston Airport System. His company has 22 employees and has been in business in Houston for 9 years. They sell, install, and service virtually all makes and models of power generation equipment. Generators of Houston got involved in the city's contracting process due to the Hire Houston First initiative. Join me in celebrating this Houston business owner and generators of Houston. But I'm going to ask you, where are the other generators of Houston? It's time to step up. Since last year at this time, the number of designated firms has risen from 250 to more than 600. We're growing monthly. The local preference offered by the program only kicks in for registered programs, so get registered. Mr. Giddings, thank you for building jobs and building business in the city of Houston. We've also taken an existing program and made it better. The city awarded a total of $340 million in contracts to small, minority, women, and disadvantaged business enterprises during fiscal year 2012. This is the highest percentage of work awarded to certified vendors in Houston history. It reflects our commitment to creating a competitive and diverse business environment. But the best can get better, and there's more to come. Thanks to the financial backing of Capital One, and there's a brochure on your tables, we're launching Lift Off Houston, a business plan competition to engage individuals seeking to start a new business, utilizing resources available at the Houston Public Library and the city's Office of Business Opportunity. Participants will be provided with the resources and mentoring to research, develop, and present their business plans. They'll receive more than $1,000 in in-kind services. At the end, there'll be 3 cash prizes ranging from $5,000 to $15,000 to jumpstart those business plans. Join me in acknowledging directors Carlicia Wright and Rhea Lawson for their innovative collaboration, work, and commitment to the citizens of Houston. Thank you, directors. Bringing in major investment is important. Growing opportunities for small businesses of all kinds is important. But it isn't enough. What if you don't have a job? What if you're looking for a better job? Well, the good news is that help is on the way. Today I'm launching a revolutionary new recruitment tool called Tweet My Jobs Houston. And all you need to access it is your smartphone. Now, I can look on my phone, and you can see behind me job postings in the immediate vicinity. I can see that there are 4 openings at Starbucks on Louisiana, an opening at CVS, my, 5 openings at JP Morgan Chase. They need an auto technician here in downtown Houston, and there's a position as a banking and research SharePoint developer, whatever the heck that is. Tweet My Jobs Houston is a hyper-local website and app that matches current job postings with qualified job seekers, all at the click of a button. Right now, you can download Tweet My Jobs Houston on any Apple or Droid platform, and today, find more than 150,000 available jobs in the greater Houston area. That's simple. And the best part is, it is absolutely free. Today, small and mid-sized businesses with limited recruitment budgets now have the same opportunities as many of the Fortune 500 companies to recruit the best talent that Houston has to offer. And job seekers don't have to comb through multiple job boards. One stop, one place to go. You can see jobs all over the city, or you can see jobs around the corner. Tweet My Jobs Houston combines social networking with job searching and matching where and when you want it. This service is easy to use and free to join by both the business that has a job and the job seeker. Tweet your jobs today. Tweet your job search today. Let's grow Houston's economy together. This program sponsored and brought to you by the City of Houston. But of course, a city is only as strong as its physical structure. Utilities, streets, drainage. It must work well so that the community can function, so that businesses can provide those jobs. Houston is now pioneering new ways to accomplish this. Good management and fiscal responsibility go together. You can't have one without the other. Good management means making it easier for your customers to talk to you, to let you know what's going wrong. We've restored our 311 helpline to a 24/7 schedule and launched a new smartphone app that makes for easy reporting of potholes and other issues. Again, every one of you has one of these. Download a free app, click a photo of a pothole, tag it, send it in, let us know about it. We can't fix it if we don't know it's there, making it easier for you to give feedback to us. But not just reporting the problems, fixing the problems. With voter approval, we're in the second year of our comprehensive infrastructure modernization program that this year will provide more than 100 miles of road improvements and good-paying jobs at the same time. Our transformative, bold, pay-as-you-go approach to addressing drainage issues and improving overall infrastructure will provide benefits for decades to come. We've already invested approximately $180 million in improvements to our infrastructure since the program began, and we are just getting started. In the first year, we started a total of 46 street and drainage improvement projects. In addition, we resurfaced 136 lane miles of asphalt streets, cleaned 75 miles of storm sewers, and regraded 277 miles of road ditches. In 2013, we'll complete or start another 38 improvement projects and add to that tally of lane miles, storm sewers, and regraded ditches, all thanks to the voters of Houston. Voters stepped up again last fall by approving $410 million in public improvement bonds for city building projects and park improvements. I know some of you were at my first State of the City speech, and in that speech, I talked about my concern about debt. And I'm proud to say that this bond election was the smallest borrowing request by the City of Houston in 30 years. The bond proceeds will fund 5 years of city public improvements, ranging from roof and foundation repairs to new fire stations and new police stations. Together, we're rebuilding our city, and I thank you for your commitment to making the best city even better. Of course, over the past 3 years, one of our top priorities has been to make Houston a safer city. We've made real progress. Since 2010, the crime rate is down 8%. Despite budget problems during the recession, We did not lay off a single police officer, a single firefighter. We protected our investment in public safety. We tackled long neglected problems that needed to be addressed, including the fact that we have modernized our public safety radio and technology systems. The city and the county can now talk to each other. Don't you think it's about time? In the past 3 years through Demolition Day, we've demolished more than 2,000 blighted or abandoned homes in some of the worst apartments in Houston. We've removed crack houses, cutting away a cancer that eats away at neighborhood vitality. Just last month, we launched Make Safe Saturday, a new neighborhood cleanup initiative that targets those properties that don't meet the criteria for demolition, but still are in violation of city codes and need to be made safe so the neighborhoods can thrive. We're working with neighborhood associations to make that happen. We're eliminating the city's backlog of untested sexual assault kits that dates back decades. I appreciate the applause. Every one of those backlog kits is in testing today. Within 12 months, the backlog will be gone. I know how important this is. I know how important this is to rape survivors. This is a problem that was years in the making, and we began working on it when I first took office, working on it with no resources. Frankly, I wish I could have accomplished this sooner, but we have done it now. The best get better. We're going to continue to knock off these problems one by one by one. Still to go. We're transitioning to an independent city crime lab to catch criminals and to protect the innocent. And last month, we opened the doors at the Houston Center for Sobriety, an innovative facility that is an alternative to jail for the thousands and thousands of people detained for public intoxication each year in the city of Houston, allowing them the opportunity to regain sobriety in a safe, medically monitored environment and stay out of the criminal justice system. The best get better. Houston is a great place. But one of my goals has always been to make it a more livable city. It's a pretty livable city now, but you know the refrain, the best can get better. Our history-making new Bio-Greenways initiative, which voters approved in the recent bond election, does just that. This is the stringing of beads along our bios, linking existing trail segments into a seamless whole. Using a mix of public and private funding, it will eventually complete one of the largest continuous park trailway systems in America along every major bio segment in the city. And that means in every neighborhood and every community in Houston. This year, thank you. This year we have begun working with many communities and partners and are completing designs on the first $20 million worth of what is a projected $200 million project. This is a great quality of life initiative. Quality of life can mean many different things. It can mean access to parks, it can mean access to the arts. To some, quality of life means finding a roof over their head and food on the table. Unfortunately, this challenge includes many veterans. Now, through an unprecedented community-wide effort, we are finding homes, social services, and jobs for homeless veterans. More than 1,000 homeless veterans now have a place to call home as a result of this initiative. One of those veterans is Paul Lewis. He's an Army vet who was living on the streets. Mr. Lewis is here with us today, and I'm going to ask him to stand, if he would. You applaud for him standing, but you're really going to want to stand up for him in a minute. As Mr. Lewis has said, when you lose your livelihood, you risk losing your self-respect. But with the help of this new city-supported program, he found a new home, he updated his automotive repair skills at Houston Community College. Today he is back on his feet, and he has opened a car repair shop on Veterans Memorial and Antoine. So, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Lewis, for your service to our country, and thank you, and God bless you in your new life. We wish you success. You are Houston. Thank you. He said he appreciated me mentioning him in my speech, and he could use the business out there. Together, we won't be satisfied in this community until all of our heroes, our American servicemen and women, have a roof over their heads and food in their bellies. We can do this together. Including our Veterans Affairs accomplishments, homelessness is down overall in the city of Houston by 27%. And still the best can get better. I want to thank our many partners, including the Houston Housing Authority, the Harris County Housing Authority, the Coalition for the Homeless, and the many faith and community-based organizations that are working tirelessly to stamp out homelessness in our community. Now, Houston has always been a city of innovation. We're leading in innovation in a lot of ways. We are already a modern, efficient, sustainable city, and we're only going to get better. Houston has been the #1 city government for using renewable energy for 4 years in a row. And this year, we've expanded the city's use of renewable energy by 50%. I'm especially proud that Houston was selected as one of the winners of the Bloomberg Challenge, a national competition among hundreds of cities that judged innovative ideas from these cities all over America. The city has received a $1 million prize to use as seed funding for the development of the so-called One Bin for All recycling system. The goal is an innovative system to allow residents to mix trash, recyclables, and even lawn waste in a single bin for automatic sorting, using technology that didn't exist 5 years ago, or even 3 years ago. It's a transformative approach with the potential to improve the city's recycling recovery rate to 75%, which would lead the nation if we get there. I love Houston. I am not ashamed to say it. I say it over and over and over again. I was born here. I grew up here. My parents were born here. This city is planted in my heart and in my soul. I know many of you in this audience personally. Many of us have worked together. Some of us have argued together. disagreed with each other. But every one of us understands we are all in this together. So many of the good things in our city actually start with the people of Houston. The kinds of people that I have tried to showcase today. People who work at the grassroots level. People who care passionately and work tirelessly without pay to improve life in our community. 6 of Houston's community leaders are in the audience today. Through my Facebook page, I ask for nominations of some of the unsung heroes in our city who work to make Houston better every day. There's Steve DeGloria, a Kroger store manager who volunteers for the Children's Miracle Network, for the United Way, and for the Houston Food Bank. Steve, I know you're out there somewhere. Please stand up. Thank you for what you do. There's Anna Gonzalez, the current president of the Denver Harbor Civic Club, where she organizes community cleanups, maintains the neighborhood esplanade, and fights the permitting of new cantinas. Anna, where are you? Thank you for being here today. Margaret Jenkins is the current president of the Greater Sugar Valley Civic Club, the Sunnyside Super Neighborhood 71, the Crestmont South Acres Super Neighborhood 76. Margaret, please stand. Ms. Jenkins. Ritika Kapoor is using her love of libraries and her expertise as an IT professional to volunteer at the Houston Public Library, where she has personally set up more than 700 computers, installed wireless router systems, and helped upgrade other library systems and equipment. Ms. Kapoor, will you stand, please? Thank you for your service. And then there's Ruby Mosley. She is affectionately called the mayor of Acres Homes, and the Houston Chronicle named her Acres Homes Grande Dame of community activism. Her community involvement includes serving as a member of the Acres Homes Advisory Committee, Acres Home Super Neighborhood, Houston Police Department Advisory Committee, and Gulf Coast Community Services Association. Ms. Ruby, where are you? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here today. And then finally, there's Gary Thomas. Gary Thomas was voted fan favorite in our Facebook competition, honoring these volunteers. Gary, if you would stand, please. Gary is a retired Vietnam vet. He volunteers 5 days a week at BARC, our animal control agency, working directly with the animals and serving as a counselor for new adoptive families. Gary, thank you for your service to our country and to our city. We appreciate it. These volunteers and the countless others that I didn't have time to mention are the true heroes of our city. Anytime I ask visitors to Houston what their overall impression is of Houston, the answer is the same. They tell me that Houston is the friendliest, most welcoming place they've ever visited. I can tell you, as a leader of this city, that the key to the fact that Houston is the best city in America and has the hottest economy in America is also our people, our citizens. I trust that every one of you in here makes a commitment back as a volunteer to our community. I know the personal involvement of many of you. I want you to join me in thanking all of those who welcome visitors, who build jobs, who volunteer, who give back, who make our city so wonderful. We all share the same goal: making Houston better every day has been our great joint endeavor. I want to thank you for the privilege of working with you to achieve that goal. I want to thank you for your vision of a better city. We are a city of change and innovation, a city of opportunity, a city that's growing better for all of us who live here. We still have much to do. Cities are never finished. Cities are always a work in progress. But I think here in Houston, we are creating a masterpiece. The state of our city is strong. The state of our future is unlimited. The best will get better. Thank you.
All right. I know you need to run. Let me make a couple of announcements and I'll dispense with the rest of my remarks. I'm Bob Harvey, President and CEO of the partnership. Let me recognize 4 other individuals, but before I do, let's thank again Mayor Parker for sharing her vision for Houston. And let me recognize these 4 individuals. First of all, Gilbert Garcia, Chair of the Metro Board. Jonna Carlson, representing U.S. Representative Ted Poe. Amy Peck, representing State Senator Dan Patrick. And Nita Sani, trustee of Houston Community College. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you in the fall.